Hello everyone, my name is Ajay. So in this video I'm going to explain you how to solve best time to buy and sell stock problem. So to start with, so first of all, to understand this question, so here you have an array for which the ith element is the price of the given stock of on day I. Design an algorithm to find the maximum profit. You may complete as many transactions as you like, that is buy one and sell one share of the stock multiple times. Note: you may not engage in multiple transactions at the same time. That is, you must sell the stock before you buy again. Yep, it's clear. So, if you see this example, we have collection of integers in this array. So, these integers are the values of the prices of the stocks on each day, on each ith day. So, if you take this input array, how we can get the maximum profit out of it? So, it decides, like, it is a strategy like when to buy and when to sell. So we need to write a function for that. So here if you see for this example, we can get the maximum profit if you buy on day 2 when the price is 1, when it is minimum, and sell on day 3, and again sell on day 3 when it is 5. So when you buy for 1 and you are selling for 5, and you get the profit of 4, and again the price is getting down on day 4, which is 3, and if you sell it on day 5 when it is 6, then you are again getting profit of 3. So that way you're getting the maximum profit out of it, so which will be 7. So that is the example here. So we need to actually write the function for this, which will take the uh, array of prices, and we need to return the output, which is the maximum profit. So for doing that, actually I wanted to divide it into two simple steps. So first of all, we need to buy, I actually divided into two steps, so I have written here. So first step is like buying when the current day price is less than the next day. So here if you see in this array, if you actually start looping this array for each item, and whenever you find an item when the value is less than the next item, then you have to buy that item. So that is the first step, and the second step is selling. So you need to know when you have to sell the item to get the maximum profit. So for that, selling when current day gives maximum profit before price drops, so that we can buy again when price is low in the next days. So here if you see, I bought it at day second when it is less than the day next after it, and I'm selling it on day 3 because on day 4 it is again getting reduced. So day 3 is the only day that I can get the max profit after I'm buying it for one price, one value. Why? Because when I bought it for 1 and when I sell it for 5, I'll be having a more profit instead of buying it on day 4. And also, so that's how, it's like you buy it when it is less and you're selling it when the price is increasing, and again you sell it when the price is increasing just before the price drop. That way you can get the maximum profit. So these are the two steps that by using these two steps you can actually uh, solve this problem. So let's see how we can code it. So for coding it, I want to have a variable for max profit. uh, Let me give it as 0 initially, and another variable for day, buying day. So I will say as day b. This variable actually I'll use for uh, giving the index of the day that I want to buy from the array, and I want to have a flag which says is buy. Initially I'll set to false. So this flag is nothing but I need this flag for setting whether I actually bought the item, whether actually I bought the stock. So out of the array, whether I bought the item. So if I bought the item, this will be true, else it will be false. So for that reason I use this flag. Now I will start iterating using for loop. So I'll use type equal to 0 or less than this dot length minus 1. I'm actually using length minus 1. Why? Because here actually I'm comparing each of its value with the next item. So when you're going for the last item, you don't have the next item. So I actually want to stop just before the last item where it is 6. So for that reason I'm using prices dot length minus 1, and I want to increment it each time. So this is the for loop. So here I will have two things: buying and second part selling. So when we need to buy is like if is B, which is the flag. So if I haven't bought anything yet, if the buying is false, then it means I have to buy the stock. Else if is B true means that I already bought the item, now I have to sell it. So these both are the main two things that I have to do for getting the maximum profit. So here in the first if loop, this is, I mean, if I haven't bought any item, then this flag will be false, then it comes into this. And if I bought any item, and in the next iteration it comes into else if block by using this flag as that when it is true. So let's see how we can buy. So for buying any stock from the array, you have to make sure the current day price is less than the next day price. So for that, let's say the current day is I, so the next day will be I plus 1. So whenever it is less, I want to store that current day and store it in day bought day B. So I want to store the current day. I want to store the day that I bought the item in day B, and I also want to make case B to true. Why? Because I mean in the next iteration, I want to say that I bought the item and now I have to sell it. So for that reason, I mean, so for the first time when I make it as true, in the next iteration definitely it comes into else if block. Why? Because I bought the item and the next step I have to do is to sell it. So for that reason I did is B to true, and once buying is done, the next thing I have to do is selling, right? So for suppose, I mean, I bought the item when it on day 1 or on day 2 when it is 1, and I got the day B index as 1, and day B index as 1, and I set is B as true, and in the next iteration when I is 2, then it will actually come into this block. When I is 2, that means 5, it comes into else if block. So here I'll make sure if that day value is actually greater than next day. Here I can actually find whether the value on that current day is greater than the next day, such that that way I can know there is a price drop in the next day, so that I will stick with the maximum profit on the current day. So if there is any price drop in the next day, that means today is the max profit. So that way for that reason I'm using this condition. So if that condition matches, then that is the day when I will be having the maximum profit. So for getting that maximum profit, I will use max p, and I will add max profit to the profit on that day. So for getting the profit on that day, I will use price of that day minus price of the day that I bought, which I stored in day B. So this gives me this this subtraction gives me the profit of that current day when I'm selling the product, when I'm selling the stock, and I'm adding it to the max P, so that by the end I'll be having the all the profits in this max P. So for that reason I'm adding it again to the max P. So here I'll get the profit for that particular day. And so once I sold the item, I actually want to make the bot is B to false again. So why? Because in the next iteration I want to make sure I have to buy the stock. I mean, so as per the uh, question, so once you buy the stock, then the next thing you have to do is sell it, and once you sell it, the next thing you have to do is buy till the end of the array, and finally you have to give the maximum profit. So for that thing, again I'm setting is B to false. Okay, that's it, friends. I mean, this will work for this scenario. Everything seems to be fine, but if you see the other scenario, the example 2, so here you are having 1 2 3 4 5. So here the minimum on day, definitely it is very less, so you will actually buy it on day 1, and you actually can sell it on day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Uh, on all days you are actually getting profit, but you are actually getting the max profit only if you sell on day 5. So for that reason, so in this scenario, if you use this logic, so as I'm using prices length minus 1, it will only come till this item, which is 4. So that way it will only come till 4. That way I will come out of the loop without selling the stock actually. I mean, here initially I will actually get the item that I will actually get the day that I have to buy the item in this example by using this logic, but in that loop I will be not able to sell that stock. Why? Because the maximum price is on last day. So here I'm not going through the last day, as I'm using length minus 1, as I'm comparing each item with the next item. So in that scenario, so when it comes out of the loop and if it is not still sold, then I will use this is B. So if is B flag is true, that means the item is bought but it is not yet sold and it is out of the loop. So in that scenario, that means the last day of the array is having the maximum value to get the profit. So that is what when you come out of the loop and if is B is still true. So let's get the maximum profit now is max P plus, and last item of the array, for getting the last item, we can use prices dot length minus 1, and you subtract it with the day that you bought the stock. Okay, so that be all, and finally I will return max P. So that be all. Let's run it and check whether it's working as expected or not. Oh, so there's some spelling. Okay, let me run it again. Okay, it is successful. Let me submit and run all the test cases. Yeah, it's successful. So I mean, I made it simple actually, and the time complexity for this solution is big of n. Why? Because you are just iterating once for the complete array. So we are actually having only for loop, only one for loop, where you are only one for loop where you are iterating each and every item of the prices. So it is big of n. So this is one of the efficient solution for this problem. And thanks a lot for watching my video. If you have any questions, you can please comment in the comment section.